Hello. Welcome to another ES Futures Trading stream. This is an update for Tuesday, September 9th. It is 1:35 p.m. Eastern Time in the US. Um, this is going to be very short. At the closing of the morning stream, I pointed at this. Uh-oh. I pointed at this low and at this high, right? Come on, man. At this high. Where are you? Yeah, that the potential of a sequential trade was there. What was that? Right. What is a sequential trade? It's a situation. It's a trade that comes from a situation in which the market has very questionable highs, very questionable lows, right? I'm not talking about this day in particular, but the profile that you will have, but overlapping or adding this day, which is today, to yesterday. And it is very simple in theory, right? We have very questionable highs and lows. What the market does is fix or take one edge, one side of the range, and the trade is actually the opposite. In the morning, I was fixated. Sorry about that. In the morning, my mindset was, and this is the danger of having a fixed mindset, right? Having these biases. I did. I was expecting actually the breakout to the upside, and the trade was going to be the opposite. But what happened is actually it does come to the lower side here, right? Which actually gives us a trade to the opposite side, which at this moment in time, at this moment of the day, I consider the trade has been completed. It's done. When I mentioned this was when the market was taking, maybe it was in D, something like that, and when the market did or had the CDE highs, selling for the same area and checking Nasdaq, ES, Dow, and Russell, kind of like rejecting, pointing, having a direction, a potential direction and move to the upside. This is when I enter a trade here, right? The risk, the very low risk, really, because I use I did only one contract, one option, and the thing is the risk was 1-to-1, and the market moved in the direction of the trade intended, but I couldn't even catch one, right? It's pretty much a scratch, basically nothing, right, that I made out of this, which highlights how difficult these trades can be, and how high the risk reward, how low the risk reward can be, right? The risk can be high and reward can be low. At that moment, I did mention the potential, the risk reward was having this as a stop, right? I guess was here, potential distribution close, and this was the exit up here, just like that, right? As the market formed these highs, okay, there can be something here, and my stop is not here anymore, or was not here anymore. When things like this happen, the next thing you have this low, then you have this one, and then you have this one. If the market comes and check this one out, that's it. There's no more, right? And when the trade starts to work, actually, you can even have something, you can move it up here. Now, the thing now is, that this market now is having really, the risk has, for me, has increased significantly. Why I say that? Because I see this coming from halfback. Can you see that? Look at these lows here. Right? And also check Nasdaq. Uh-oh. The same thing happening in Nasdaq. Halfback, 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 right? 1, 2, 3. Right? It is the risk. The long side is extremely high now. If this market breaks, it can break hard, not taking the whole range out. It can be just enough to maybe take this ones out or this one and coming close to the center of the range, back to the center of the range. Same goes for Nasdaq because these ranges are very low. Having in consideration the CPI is coming. I think everybody's focused to CPI, and I don't think that anything significant may come before that news release. Now, this business. The main thing here is uncertainty. We have to accept uncertainty and embrace uncertainty. Anything can happen at any given time. There's no guarantee that nothing will happen, right? That has to be center and front in everybody's mind when doing any kind of trade in this business, in this job, right? We have to embrace the uncertainty. We don't know what's going to happen, right? And for all practical purposes, right now, I believe that this trade has been completed, right? It's rather to exit a little bit earlier than trying to catch the last part of the movement, right? I'm trying to catch the last penny, the last tick. Usually, that's usually when losses come, right? When you start to giving back profits and even can get into the losing side, right? Though, okay, that's the only thing I want to say, right? Just heads up that this can be it, the end of the trade. As I say, I'm not going to say, I cannot say what's going to happen. Nobody knows what's going to happen. But the trade that I was looking for, or the potential sequential trade that was there in the morning, I think that has been developed. Now, before closing, just want you to check something else. I'm going to bring this chart here. This is the volume. Notice how low is the volume relative to yesterday. As the periods develop, volume is less and less and less relative to yesterday. All right? We have a slightly higher volume at the opening on par with yesterday, but as the day develop, it just decreases. The ES is in range. Nasdaq has come back in range, potentially, and it has looked below, potentially targeting the opposite side. Want to see if that happens, where this market closes. If it closes above, that will give us an outside day. Watch out for that. This is starting to look like a long liquidation, and the Dow is having a breakout to the upside. Relative to yesterday, always, all right? Relative to yesterday. The bond market is having kind of like a liquidation, really rebalancing. I would call it rebalancing. In the daily time frame, how these indices look. There's accumulation here in the ES. Same thing goes for Nasdaq. There's a trend in the Russell, and also there's kind of like a wedge forming here, right? The market is checking this. It's very mechanical here, very mechanical, checking this breakout of this all-time high multiple times as him. This is kind of dangerous actually. That now that I am seeing this, when the market actually doesn't have acceptance above this, it's in fact rejecting this thing. It may come down here, maybe towards multiple times have been bought from 50s. It might come towards this 100. Who knows? All right, that's it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Stay safe. Hope to see you another day. Bye bye.